All right, everybody, welcome to Phoenix Raceway. Now that the dinghy has hit the button, welcome here with National Racing Network live coverage of the TNT Shock Series. Coming to you from Phoenix, my name is Chris Graham, joined in the booth, as always, by Mr. Patrick Byrne. You saw the names up there on the graphics already. Bizzle, let's go back through this a little bit, though, as we got about 2 minutes left in practice. This place is tough, and you made a really great point of mentioning some of the new names here. The OGs of this series have a lot of laps at this combo. That's not necessarily true of some of the new guys.
Yes, some of the new guys, this is completely foreign to them. All they've run on is the nice new version of Phoenix, never run on this real old version. This pavement was kind of old and really didn't have much grip to it at all. Going through turns 1 and 2 here, what today is turns 3 and 4, it's very easy to push the car up into that outside wall. That turn gets tighter as you go through it.
Yeah, I mean, this place is tough, and pit entry is going to be a storyline tonight. If they have to make green flag pit stops, getting on and off a pit lane is very difficult, and you have to make your pit entry from the entrance of turn number 3. While we're talking about the rules of the road here, let's give you a look at what everybody's been doing tonight here. 90 minutes of practice. They give them a lot of time to get themselves warmed up and dial the setups in. James Watson, it is 2-lap average qualifying. Don't screw it up tonight. 50-minute race length. They got about 85% in the fuel tanks, which means they can go about 35 minutes. What that says, Bizzle, it should be a one-stop race. However, tire wear can become an issue, and then you're getting into really kind of into the weeds of how do you want to play your pit strategy.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very tough because basically you can pit early, throw that set of tires on early, make up a whole bunch of spots, or you can take the real long run and do what Wes and Brian did last week and shave a pit stop off completely.
Yeah, that's actually one that I think is going to be a really, really interesting one to watch tonight, is how do these drivers decide to use their pit stops? I think we saw the right call is to try to make that first run last as long as humanly possible, unless you think you can get the track position. Now, one of the differences that we have from our last race is the fact that track position may not be as important here. You can make a pass on the outside. It's not the easiest thing to do, but passing is absolutely in the cards here at Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, there's been years, depending on what iRacing has done with the car, where the build's at, there's been years we've had pack races here, and there's been years that it's almost like a road course race with everyone split up. So this is the first time we've gone to Phoenix in a while. So I'm not sure what kind of race we're going to see here tonight.
Well, we're going to get a good feel, or at least a little bit of a feel for it, as we see cars get out onto the racetrack for qualifications, and we will pick up the number 98 of Vic Aldrich. He will be the first of the cars to take time here. Drivers will have 10 minutes to get their 2 best laps on the board. Right now, about half the field is on the speedway. Vic Aldrich will be one of the first drivers to get an officially scored lap on the board here, and it looks like lap number 1 for Aldrich is going to be coming up right now, and it will be a 25.479. 25.718 for Robert Drew. Sam Carasala in at a 25.748. Quickest one thus far, Andrew Berry, 25.389. Zach Nurenberger only a 10th off in the 32 machine. You don't see anybody up on the board yet because they haven't completed their 2 laps. This is the 2-lap averages that you're going to start seeing right now. And Vic Aldrich goes top of the board at a 25.654. Third on the board, Robert Drew, 25.650. I'm sorry, that was for Vic Aldrich, was the 25.6. Jesse Francisco was second. Now Zach Nurenberger is going to jump up to second on the boards. Let's pick up Sam Carasala, making his way off the final corner. Oh, buddy, keep it off the wall if you want the lap to count. That is a huge one here. Sam Carasala, lap number 2, does not score. That is a tough one for Sam Carasala. Jason Owens moving up now into position number 3. will pick up the 18 of Darren Fahey. He is coming around to see the green flag to start his qualification run. Right now, no surprise, Andrew Berry at the top of the charts. Maybe a little bit of a surprise there for Zach Nurenberger being second quick. Jason Owens third on the board. And over the 2-lap average, we're talking 5/6/100ths of a second separating these drivers. This field is going to be tight here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, just looking through those guys at the top, again, they pretty much mastered this track. It's going to be very hard for people to find time here.
Well, let's pick up James Watson. Make sure he doesn't screw the pooch in qualifying. He is on the clock for lap number 1. Great lap in the AJ Camargo, putting himself up in a position number 4. 25:44 with a 7 for the Brazilian. Already has 1 win this season. Camargo might be the underdog story of this season, quite frankly, as Watson goes up on the board for lap number 1, 25:474. If he nails lap number 2, he could be in contention for a pole position here tonight. Wes Shire does not get lap scored. Trouble for Wes Shire, Dave Stark, Sam Carasala, Colin Holt. None of those drivers will get a lap in qualifications. Lap number 2 for James Watson, and he will go third quick on the board. 25.427. The laps of record for James Watson. Now let's pick up Brian Labarge in the NASA Meatball, making his way around as we are down inside of 6 minutes remaining in the qualifying session. Peter Donchak also on the racetrack. Great to see Petey back down here. Thus far, the only car that has not attempted a lap yet is the number 48 of Ben Carswell. Lap 1 for Labarge at a 25.368. Oh, so close to a nice lap there for Brian. See what lap number 2 looks like. He was really fighting some setup gremlins throughout the session. The car wanting to go from a little bit of push tight to some snap oversteer. See what Brian Labarge does. He will go second quick. 25.394. 25.39 with a 4 for Brian Labarge. Best lap at 25.368. That one was a heater. Peter Donchak still out on the racetrack. Well, not for much longer, though. That race car is junk. The Monster Energy looking machine there is... Let's get a little focus on this one. That's almost Paul Tracy-esque levels of damage. When he junked a race car, that should not be happening. Well, I guess it helps if I put the telestrator up. That bouncing wheel...
I believe he needs a shock absorber there.
That's not normal. Good look at the internals of that machine, though. Sunset Arctic Gaming on the side of that machine for Peter Donchak. So now we're down to 4 minutes and 10 seconds left in qualifying. Ben Carswell, as we said, the only car that we have not yet seen on the racetrack, will make the hum go away in your ears. Man alive, that qualifying has been really, really good here. We're talking about 6 cars basically within a tenth of a second, as Carswell will now get out onto the racetrack to start his qualification run. Almost gives me some vibes to what we saw at Kansas last night with the Silver Crown. Everybody was so good and the pack was so tight. Passing actually became a little bit difficult because you kind of had nowhere to go. You really had to try to force another lane to be the good one.
Yeah, and very similar to the Silver Crowns, but even more drastic in these things is you can't make contact with another car. So you kind of just have to force your way in there without touching them, kind of scare them up and letting you by.
That's a great point. You can sometimes make the shove work, and we did see bump drafting work in these cars at Road America last week. I'm interested to see if anybody has the foot split to try that tonight. Carswell's first lap, 25.651 off of turn number 4. He will see the checkered flag. Lap number 2 for Ben Carswell will be good enough to put him up to 11th quick, 25.488 seconds. That means everybody has finished their qualification runs. So we'll take a look here and see if we can't get a quick word in with Andrew Berry, our pole sitter here tonight. And Andrew, the lap was good. I'm wondering what you think we're going to see out of the race here tonight.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I got kind of caught up today, and I didn't get a lot of practice in, so we'll see how it goes. I'm just gonna roll with what I got and see what happens.
At this point in the season, it seems like everybody else has the golden horseshoe. That is something that you do not have in the back pocket. Does that play into things and how you decide whether, how you want to run this race?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. It's been a rough season. I feel like there's been a couple races where I threw away a win, so hopefully tonight's not another one of those.
All right, buddy. Well, good luck tonight here, and congratulations on picking up another pole award here in the TNT Shock Series.
Yep, thank you.
There you go. There's Andrew Berry, your pole award winner here tonight. The big story going into this race, though, Bizzle, Wes Shire does not score his qualification attempt. He enters the night 1 point back of James Watson for the championship of this series. Wes has won a bunch of them. Watson doesn't have one yet. We could see this race become the turning point in the season if Shire's not able to make his way to the front.
It could be. But I think Wes Shire is going to make his way up to the front. This is one of his best racetracks, and with all of the wins he has so far this season, this one should come the easiest considering his previous stats.
Yeah, Wes does have a couple of wins this season. Average start of 3rd, average finish of 3rd. He's been really good. James Watson, average start is 10th, and he is going to line up 4th on the grid here tonight. His average finish is 3rd, so Watson could be a contender in this one as well. As it is time to go racing here at Phoenix Raceway, the best of the Phoenix layouts currently available on the iRacing platform is how I'm going to say that. I think Tunix might have been the best layout that we ever saw at Phoenix.
Tunix was awesome. I miss Tunix.
That would be the pre-reconfigure, yes, the 2012 version of the racetrack. This is the OG Phoenix. The new one, I'm not so sure that I'm a huge fan of, but we got some other things to do and some business to take care of first here. The field is out on the racetrack, and they're only going to get one lap. So let's get us up here, and we will show you tonight's starting lineup. Starting on the pole with a 2-lap average of 25.365 seconds will be the number 81 of Andrew Berry. Brian Labarge and the NASA Meatball will line up to his outside. Row number 2 will be Zach Nernberger alongside of your points leader, James Watson. Row number 3 will have Jason Miller and Jason Owens. Good-looking paint scheme there on the Jason Owens machine. Not the familiar colors that we're used to. We'll check to make sure the schemes are uploaded right here. But the AJ Camargo, Darren Fahey on row number 4. Row 5 will be Jesse Francisco and Vic Aldridge. Row number 6, Ben Carswell alongside of Simon Fell. Row 7, Robert Drew and Mike Long. Akisa Yoshikawa, Alex Teeter on row number 8. Row 9, Stephen C. Thompson and RJ Henke. Wes Shire, Sam Karasawa on row number 10. Row 11, Dave Sparks and Peter Donchak. All alone on the final row will be Colin Holt. Field already making their way off of turn number 4. Pace car will make the hard left-hand turn onto pit lane. And green flags out. We're underway. Great start for Andrew Berry. Nürnberger and Lamarge going to be side by side into one. Caution for the first time here tonight, and it looks like we may have some trouble here towards the back of the field. Possibly a couple of incidents, actually. First one between RJ Hetke and Robert Drew. Right off the start of the race.
Robert Drew just 3 wide, gets tagged in the rear.
See also here Colin Holt and Dave Sparks having an issue as well. Kind of Arrow McLaren-esque colors on the machine of Colin back to the field. I think this may be a little bit of an incident. Oh, there's Drew, and big hit for the 23 of Holt. What a tough break there as Drew got spun around in the middle of turns 3 and 4, and absolutely nowhere for Colin Holt to go. We will await word from race control to see if there are any penalties that will be issued for that one. Both Robert Drew and Colin Holt on pit lane. See if we can't get a word in here with Colin Holt. And Colin, tough break for you. First lap of your first race here in the TNT Shock Series, and kind of looked like you had nowhere to go. What happened out there?
I just, it was a big puff of smoke, and I thought I could dodge it, and I couldn't. The game tells you to go high, and I didn't think that was possible, so I tried to go low, and it took out my front tire.
Well, tough break tonight, brother. Hopefully we get to see you back here next week. Not exactly the welcome to the series you wanted to get. Thank you very much for coming to check in with us here as lights are out on the iRacing safety car. We are already getting ready to go back green flag racing. Man, Bizzle, I don't think this is what some of these guys at the front wanted to see, and it's especially not what the guys at the back wanted to see. To be able to run this race hard and kind of stay packed up early on.
Yeah, going single file not only allows Barry to get a huge gap on the marge, but it basically spreads the whole field around half of this racing system.
Yeah, side-by-side battle here between Darren Fahey and the AJ Camargo. That is going to be the battle for the 7th position. And one of the things we never really got is obviously with all the practice that they have at their disposal, they have a pretty decent feel for what the car is going to be like. That doesn't necessarily mean it's good.
No, and a lot of these guys are expecting, especially some of the series regulars, are expecting long green flag runs, so they set their cars up to be good towards the tail end of the run where it's going to matter.
That's a great point as Jason Owens puts up a new fastest lap of the race. He's up in the 5th position. James Watson gets around Zach Nürnberger for position number 3, but man alive, we're going to stay with this pack back here. Better car as well.
it up front, and then the whole Hornet's Nest is right behind him.
Yeah. Alex Dieter thought about the move outside. He has to back out a little bit. The AJ Camargo. Actually, that's the 26 in the Gisago Shikawa battling with Vic Aldridge. Dieter trying to make that outside lane work. May not be there. And here comes the 26 of Yoshikawa, too. Whole bunch of cars. I mean, it was so much fun to watch these guys. They're swinging multiple lines all over the place here. It's going to be the 31 of Jesse Francisco chasing down Carswell now.
Watson with quick time. He's trying to chase down Brian Labarge for second position. Less than a tenth of a second behind Labarge.
There you go. We got to look at Simon Fell just out front here as well. That battle was good, but James Watson has gotten around Brian Labarge on the high side. Jason Miller sets the new fastest lap of the race. Watson is going after race leader Andrew Berry, and we talked about this a little bit here, Bizzle, but Wes Shire hasn't made the move yet. He's currently in the 17th position, just coming around Dave Sparks. You almost have to think, though, if Shire didn't get the quali lap in, he's got to be in full fuel and tire save mode at this point.
Yeah, basically to try last week's strategy again, if I could take a guess.
Word from race control that says, I assume you guys have caught this, but neck code might be an issue tonight. We saw that in the silver on Monday night at Kansas, and even in some of the races we saw last week. I'm not sure if iRacing has done some back-end server maintenance or something, but netcode has definitely been more of an issue over the last week or so than what we're accustomed to seeing.
Is there a big solar storm that's targeting Boston?
Maybe? Solar weather available for us. We have the track temperature though, 75-degree ambient, 77-degree track temperature under partly cloudy skies. The battle for the lead is 2 by 2. Labarge and Nürnberger on row 2. Jason O is peeking the nose in there. And I think Watson may have thought he was clear heading into 3. Barry pushes up the racetrack ever so slightly. This time by the start-finish line, give the lap led to James Watson. Now, Bizzle, maybe you'll remember the discussions that we had prior to this season, but if I remember correctly, we had points on the board for laps led and most laps led. There were a lot of bonus points that were available. Some of those were restructured prior to this season, so I don't remember if you get a point for a lap led at this point.
I am not sure, but I can go and flip through the rulebook a little bit.
Well, there we go. We could ask for a race. That time by the start-finish line, it was James Watson by 2 1/1000ths of a second. 10 minutes into this race, and oh my goodness, we're still 2 by 2 for the lead.
Bonus points awarded for the pole position, most laps led, and fastest race lap. So going out there and leading one doesn't give you a darn thing. Going out there and leading them all, though, well, that'll give you an extra point.
So there you go. You need to lead a bunch of them.
More importantly than leading a bunch of them, though, is winning. You earn 45 points for winning the race and only 38 for finishing in second. That's what, a 7-point gap between finishing first and second?
Yeah, something like that. It's a big one. And now, You start. I mean, at this point, we're late enough in the season. This is round, 7 of 10 for these guys. You really have to be thinking championship points. If you're James Watson, do you have to start mentally thinking, what could West do different? And how do you counteract that? Or do you just have to go out and try to win this race from the front?
I don't know. If I'm James Watson, I'm already up there. I'm not going to do any funky strategy. I'm just going to go out there, try and take the lead and win this thing. Wes is the one that's in the bad spot right now, in the 16th position. He's going to have to do some funky stuff to get himself back up towards the front and taking the checkered flag. All Watson has to do is pass Berry.
Yeah, and quite frankly, we're almost to the point of the window being open for West Shire. If you get about 35 minutes, you get the clock down to about 30 minutes, the window is defiantly open at that point. Definitely, whatever. Maybe if you're West Shire, you think about an off strategy, but and see if you get a caution, because if you pit under green, you're going to lose a lap. Anything else, the only way that strategy could possibly work is if Shire pits and then everybody else has to also make a green flag stop.
Yeah, and that's playing a lot of luck, especially when you start that pit cycle. The pits here aren't exactly easy to get on or off of. So, just by starting that pit cycle, you could bring out a caution. Maybe not yourself, but whoever tries to copycat you.
Seeing the comment coming in here with Robert Drew saying, wasn't expecting to get split so early in the race. Tried to get high, still warming up. RJ tapped into my back tire and I was looking to recover. That's tough, because when you talk about you're in the back of the field, you want to make a move. Because right now we're seeing the fruits of what happens when you get caught out. Ben Carswell has gone from being in ninth position, fairly close to the leaders, to after this restart, he's now 3.2 seconds back and falling. And we really have to talk about here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to take a caution to bring these guys back together. I don't think you can make up that much by pitting a little bit earlier than someone else.
No, I guess really the only thought process to a short stop like that would be to get the tank full, and then you're just going to have to go from there and hope it works out for you. But if you don't get a full cycle of green flag stops, it's going to catch everybody up. Because we're to the point now where Andrew Berry and all these guys in the front just about make the all fuel if we get another caution. I think Wes is definitely on the fuel saving plan though, because you take a look here for West Shire, he is 9 seconds back on the race leader. Has Peter Donchak, Mike Long, and Stephen C. Thompson all kind of in position. Stephen C. Thompson, by the way, making our life difficult. Identical to Simon Claus.
He just wants to screw with you.
Yeah. So we'll head back up front as the leaders are going to put another lap on the board. Andrew Berry has led 28 laps thus far here tonight. James Watson leading 3. Nobody else has gotten a lap led. We're down to right about 82 laps or so based on the pace that we're running. Could West Shire be thinking, about a possible no-stop strategy.
I don't think a no-stopper is possible.
You almost have to take like a pile of yellow flag to come out. Basically from here on in almost. Oh, buddy, Brian LaBarge almost getting up into the outside safer barrier. Tell you what, this second pack is starting to catch up here, Dizzle. Pick up Ben Carswell. Leading that second line, it was about 3.6 seconds. The gap is now down to 2.9. The more they stay in line, the more they're going to catch up. And if the leaders go to battling, it would be 13 cars that would be nose to tail at that point.
Yeah, if the leaders start battling, that's going to slow them down a bunch, and this second pack is going to catch them.
Now you see the margin that's sitting right about 3 seconds or so. What we're really looking at is the gap from Ben Carswell to Darren Fahey, who's in 8th. Once that gets down to about 1.2, 1.3 seconds, they're fully within draft range of that. Right now, they're sitting at about 1.7 seconds. Pit stop. We're gonna stay green for a long run here. Get to that the green flag pit stop, and that's gonna kind of sort everybody out, because at this point I don't know that it's even worth trying to make a move if you're Brian LaBarge, Jason Owens, Zach Nurnberger. You kind of just want to stay in line and sip fuel. Let Andrew Berry use it all right.
Yeah, I saw Jason Owens leaking out to the outside of Brian LaBarge, maybe considering a move there, but backed out of it and sat right back down in the 4th position.
These cars, I don't think, are not going to be as temperature sensitive as some of the stock cars that we've covered. Only because you have the big side bumps, you really only have to dip a tiny bit of the car out as Jason Owens pulls a little soft slider on Brian LaBarge to move up to position number 3.
No, these things make almost no horsepower. So they don't make very much horsepower, they don't make very much heat, and they have huge radiators on them for some of the slower speed road courses. So you put them at a big oval like this, you're now ramming air through them at 130, 140 miles an hour, and they're only made to take in enough air to keep it 30 or 40. Yeah, these things are probably not even warmed up to full temperature yet.
Trying to get that car down onto the pit lane. it wasn't an issue for RJ Hepke. Oh, here's possibly what we're looking at. We will recap the pit stops here after we take a look at the replay. Possibly trouble for Ben Carswell.
Possibly putting on his best Jimmy Johnson impersonation here.
Open wheel Jimmy Johnson. Car just starts to slide out, goes around. Carswell locks down the brakes. Look at that.
Saves it. I would call that a save.
That is absolutely a save. Nice piece of driving there, Mr. Carswell.
You know what? That was a Jimmy Johnson impersonation of his qualifying run at Dover that one year.
Yes, that is exactly right. So field comes down pit lane, and everybody was on pit lane that time. Nobody electing to stay out as we are down to about 28 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. What that tells me, we are good to go on fuel the rest of the way. Likely will not see anybody come down pit lane. Let's bring up Jason Owens into the booth here. Oh, that's awesome. Jason, what's going on, brother? We haven't seen you in a little bit here.
Yeah, I know I'm in trouble. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I think Barry's running a little bit more downforce than anybody else up here, and we're getting a lot of checkups into the corners, and we're having to be safe. Better safe than sorry. I was actually about 12 laps from pitting there when this caution came out. I was trying to just pit right at the halfway point, so it's telling me that right now I'm 2 laps short when we go green. So it's going to be interesting here.
So you're saying we may need to see another pit stop unless we get another caution flag?
Nah, everybody's going to save 2 laps. Everybody's going to find the Scott Dixon oil refinery for 2 laps and play games and get behind the draft. Towards the end of that run, I could put it anywhere I wanted. I was just trying to save tires. I don't know if you guys can see. I was lifting at start-finish line. So it was an experience. The car's great tonight. I hope I have the right downforce as the track cools off. It's 2 degrees cooler than when we started, and we'll see how it goes here on the back half of the race.
All right, buddy. Well, Jason, good luck the rest of the way. Thank you very much for the Robin Miller intro. We needed that tonight.
You know what? I think you were talking over him during all the expletives in that intro. So I don't even think we're going to get demonetized for that one.
Yeah, possibly not. That's the hope anyway. So field is getting ready to go back to green. A tick short on fuel is what the potential numbers sound like here. Jason Owens is gonna be the lead. We'll see if field's going to get off into number 4. We haven't done one of these long. Go ahead and crank it up here for the restart. Frankly, 7th through 20th in the running order right now, as Fahey's going to have the look outside of Yoshikawa into 3. And I'll tell you what, Bizzle, I know it's not here yet, but rain is on the horizon. Seeing those clouds roll in is, I'll say, interesting, but like Jason mentioned, track temperature down a couple of degrees. What does that mean? And how much heat we're going to
gets, the tighter it's going to get, which typically if you're at a place like Texas or any of those other traditionally loose tracks, yeah, you like to see the night start to come. Here at Phoenix, though, this track is so tight. Going out of turn number 2 here at the Phoenix version, if your car wants to hit the wall, no matter if it's 130 degrees out or it's 60 degrees out, the closer you get to 60 degrees, the more it's going to want to push up and up that racetrack.
Yeah, I'm not going to give anybody flashbacks here, but the sun is setting fairly rapidly over this version of the Phoenix Raceway, and this one does not have lights. We should be good, I would think, as we're down to 23 and a half minutes remaining. But the more that sun sets, the cooler this place is going to get. Possibly even the faster you're going to have to make a run up to the front here if you're James Watson and Jason Owens.
I'm not sure we've ever red flagged a race before for darkness, and I'm not sure we'll get to that. As long as the time acceleration isn't turned on, as long as we're on a full 24-hour night cycle, we should be all right before we play through.
Yeah, I believe it was National Super Speedway that we were running in something with that.
It was Formula V's though. The first weekend that track released, iRacing had to put lights in it. I guess it must have released by a couple days to get it out in time for update day. It didn't have lights and we ran it in the night anyway. Terrible.
James Watson having a peek on Andrew Barry's. Barry may have scraped the wall exiting turn number 2. And you can see that push is really starting to come into play that you mentioned off of 2. These guys are getting closer and closer to that wall. The leaders, they'll be able to handle it, but you start to wonder about some of the guys that are a little bit deeper in the field. They're really going to have to back the pace down if they don't want to put the car in the fence.
Yeah, especially with the arrow push. So almost contact there.
Yeah, Zach Nuremberg. Man, these guys are getting tight, and we talked about the netcode gods. How nice are they going to play with you? That's always a little dicey when you're entering and exiting the corners that close together.
Yeah, Nuremberger's pretty fearless too. He won't kind of slow down and give you any more room than you absolutely need.
And a little bit of a fade off of turn 2. Oh, Yoshikawa, big moment off of 4 that time. He's going to stay inside of Nuremberger into 1. Crash. Looks like Darren Fahey may be involved in that one as well. You saw it from the onboard. And we are under caution with just over 20 minutes remaining. Take a look at this one here on the NRN replay. Yoshikawa inside of Teeter. Excuse me, inside of Nuremberger. And actually a little bit of contact there with Nuremberger. That registered as an incident in the iRacing systems. Big dive in, catches a little bit of apron, and around the car goes. Wow, big hits. Good Lord,
just loses it all on its own.
Spraying parts into the grandstands. Hope the people down there in turn 4 are okay. That is a tough break for Nagisa Yoshikawa, and especially Alex Teeter and Darren Fahey. Those guys did not do much wrong. But now, at the caution, James Watson is listed as your race leader. Inside of Andrew Berry for the race lead off of turn number 4. Passes clean. Berry goes back to having the look, but the caution was out as they were down the front straightaway, and James Watson will be your race leader.
Watson is going to fight incredibly hard to win this race.
Yeah, he wants a win, and this, as it stands right now, would really help the championship battle for him because West Shire's still in the 11th position. Shire number 2 on the hard charger list. That's right now going to go to Peter Donchak, who is up 9. Shire up 8. Dave Sparks, Stephen C. Thompson, Sam Carasala, rounding out the top 5 on that one. Getting word from race control about a minute or so ago. Which got him to and the meatball. So that means he's going to have to come down, do a drive-through, and come down pit lane. That's right. All the iRacing safety car. We are getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Watson brings him down slow, gets a nice jump over Andrew Berry. He'll be your race leader by 3 car lengths to turn 1. Problem I think Andrew Berry may have here is that not only is he going after the race leader, he's got Jason Owens here who has not won as many races this season as he might have liked to. Owens wants a win before this season is out.
Has Owens ever gone winless in a season?
I don't think so. Making the move here to the outside of Watson into 3. Berry now going to be able to try the crossover into turn 1. Berry will pick up as Watson scrapes the wall in 1 and 2. Way high at the midpoint of the corner. Now Jason Owens going to go on the attack. Starting to break away from 6th place, Ben Carswell. West Shire able to get around Stephen C. Thompson, but it's only going to put him up into the 10th position. Shire's going to have to go to work on Zach Harper very quickly here. At the front, Jason Owens doing it the hard way around the outside of turns 1 and 2. He's able to clear Watson. Take a look at Watson's race car here. See if we can see any damage from that contact with the wall. Suspension looks okay. I don't see any damage on the wings.
That car looks okay. The floor pan's not even bent up or anything.
Just inside of 15 minutes remaining in round number 7 for the TNT Shock Series here at the Phoenix Raceway. The question becomes, are we getting the word from race control that the incident with RJ Hetke actually occurred under the yellow flag. Big slide from Jason Owens off of 4. Watson able to clear. Now the AJ Camargo having to contend with Brian Millard.
On the outside there through the dog leg. Barry's going to pick it back up. Wow,
Watson able to clear. Oh, they're 3 wide just back behind. That's Ben Carswell looking to the outside. 12 and a half minutes left to go. Business is picking up here in Phoenix. This battling is condensing the field down. Berryberger is at the tail end of this group now. Peter Donchak making up ground. That's going to be 12 through 16 from Donchak back to Karasawa. If these guys start going really ballistic, so long as they don't wreck, we could have almost every lead lap car basically in one big pack for the finish of this thing.
That would be absolutely epic. Maybe not. Labarge and Carswell almost got that.
Turn one, basically 2 by 2 for 3 or so rows. Just barely clears Barry. Slides him up the racetrack. Gets on the air off the front wheels of that car. A little bit of a push through 1 and 2 that time. Oh, Jason Owens down in the grass.
Saves the car. It's still down.
Ryan Labarge almost down onto the apron for the frame. Almost makes you wonder, is this where race control gets on the mic and goes, settle down, there's still 11 minutes to go.
No.
Oh, man, a little bit of a bobble for Camargo. They're 3 wide for third off of 4. Carswell up on the outside. Jason Miller probably pretty wisely backs out of that one. And Wes Shire is there in the middle of the pack. He's up to the 7th position. Camargo and we had a Most Improved Driver award this season. I think it goes to AJ Camargo. He has gone from a mid-pack driver to consistently inside the top 5 throughout this season. to the 4th position. He has done a masterful job picking his way through traffic since that restart. And he's going to be in contention here at the end.
Andrew Berry, did you see how loose he got?
Yeah, that was a moment or two. Maybe not full Zulu, but definitely pucker factor Yankee. From Andrew Berry. And Carswell having to look outside. That race car's getting sporty here late in the race. Watson down the front stretch. That's really dangerous in a place like Phoenix because you're carrying a lot more speed into the corner than you anticipate.
Yeah, and Phoenix, especially in turns 1 and 2, is definitely a slow in, fast out set of corners.
Back in the 7th position. It was Carswell almost got the safer barrier exiting 2. And we've seen it. You can absolutely get the big run off the final corner and try to take the race lead away. Oh, Barry and Carswell slide up towards the outside wall. 7 minutes to go. What has been an absolute heartburner able to hold off Berry for 2nd position at the start-finish line. Wes Steyer almost doesn't know where to go here. He sees an opening, the hole closes right back up. Big slide from Jason Miller off the corner. Carswell may have actually gotten the wall that time. Forces everybody else to back off. This could be a 2-man show for the weekend. Barry doesn't want to play nice, though. Oh, he says
very good. Got their fastest lap, too.
Yep, new fastest lap of the race at a 25:139. Looking inside at James Watson. I'll tell you what, if they keep this up, that pack is going to form right back up again on their attenuators.
I'm James Watson. I'm not sure I want to be on the high side of Andrew Berry. Very badly race car. And typically when you get loose, you yank the steering wheel to the right to try and save it.
Listening to the broadcast, pulls down to the inside of the speedway off the turn number 4. He's going to try to make the move, but now Carswell's caught back up. Wes Steyer is right there as well. Jason Miller having a very quiet run inside the top 5 all night here tonight. No doubt about your hard charger. That's Wes Steyer up 15. Thompson. Oh, contact!
Contact with Miller.
Miller and Carswell. Miller got the push off of 4. He's going to give up a little bit of time. Perry looks back inside of Watson. Miller may have damage on that race car. Looks like he's heading to pit lane. Right for Jason Miller. I will lay claim to the commentator's curse for that one. I am sorry, Jason. Now Brian Labarge sneaking up inside the top 5. He's going to have the clean look inside of West Shire. Watson to the race lead. Carswell and Berry again almost make contact in 4.
This is exactly what Watson wants to see too, is Berry and Carswell now fighting for the second position behind him. Watson in full focus mode deafens himself in the TNT chat. He cannot hear what these other drivers are saying. He doesn't want to hear what they're saying either.
Carswell inside of Watson. Berry not sure where to go. He tries inside, tries outside, tries back inside again. Now Labarge is going to be up on the outside of the 81 of Berry. May take away some of the options that he has trying to make the move from third as we're down to 2 minutes left to go.
Now, Watson wants to win this thing, that's for sure. But do you think he has the points championship in mind? Do you think there's a thought in his head that goes, maybe I shouldn't fight this hard. All I got to do is finish in front of West?
Man, I don't know. Watson is a little bit of a thinking driver. Until you get him out front, he wants that dub. I don't think he's quite Brandon Buckberger level of trophy chasing. But there is also a lot of trust between these guys. They have run quite literally thousands of laps together. It's rare to see a mistake get made. Oh, as Berry almost got into Carswell, he has to back out, and Andrew Berry falls back to 4th.
Yeah, but you heard Watson in the interview last week. He was really thinking about that championship. He wants one of these TNT championships so bad that I almost wonder if he's willing to finish second if that means still staying in front of West Shire.
Well, we're going to find out as we're going to be down to 2 laps to go here at Phoenix Raceway. And right now, Ben Carswell, Brian Labarge battling for second has allowed Watson to open up the gap ever so slightly. 26 seconds left on the clock. This is going to be crazy tight if we get one more lap in. Oh, Carswell scrapes the wall off at 2.
Barnes now fighting to the outside of Carswell.
Carswell doing everything he can to hold on. 3 seconds left on the clock. White flags out, 1 to go. We got one more in.
Carswell, even after scraping the wall, trying to fight on Watson, not able to do it. Labarge's going to fight for second now.
James Watson holding a quarter of a second lead over Brian Labarge. Andrew Berry looking inside of Ben Carswell for third. Off the final quarter, the checkers will go in the air. James Watson gets the win at Phoenix.
More importantly for the championship, West Shire finishes 6th. That's going to be like a 20-point gap.
Oh my goodness. What a show here at Phoenix. James Watson picks up the race win. Seeing somebody's rear wing tumbling down through pit lane. hearing somebody grabbing gears down there too. Now Watson's going to get a shot to burn him down here. Well-earned victory donuts for James Watson. It's going to be one jacked up kid we're going to get to talk to here as well. So while he gets ready to do the smoke show here, let's show you tonight's final race results. James Watson getting the win over Brian Labarge and Ben Carswell. Andrew Berry, Jason Owens round out the top 5. 6 through 10, Wes Shire, Stephen C. Thompson, Simon Fell, Zach Nurberger, and Vic Aldrich. 11 through 20, Peter Donchak, Jesse Francisco with a nice opener in his debut here in the number 31. Mike Long, Dave Sparks, and AJ Camargo complete the top 15. Sam Carasala, Jason Miller, RJ Hetke, Darren Fahey, and Nagisa Yoshikawa back through the 20th position. Final 3 cars, Alex Teeter, Colin Holt, and Robert Drew. So we'll get ready for our Victory Lane interviews here. And let's see, who do we want to talk to first? Let's bring in our race winner tonight, Mr. James Watson. And man, I'll tell you what, brother, congratulations. A fantastic show tonight. How were you able to hold these guys off? Because it looked like you were really kind of having to do as much mirror driving as looking out the front windscreen.
Yeah, I owe this win to Victor. Again, he put together a set, and oh my god, that set was incredible. Like I could basically put my car just like last week. I could basically put my car wherever I wanted. And it stuck for the most part, even with the tire wear coming down to it. And so it was just, keeping an eye on my surroundings, and just knowing who's around me. Because I noticed early on is when we were battling, Andrew was ridiculously over. Like, I could not pass Andrew going around the outside, like what you typically expect for Phoenix. Like, he was able to hold me off, and so when I got ahead of him, I was trying to see what would happen if I held the inside, and I was able to keep him at bay just enough. And then with Ben, Ben was able to hold around the outside a lot better and almost got me a couple times. So then it became flip the script, hold the outside and try to make Ben get by me on the bottom, and just hope that it works out and I can hold them off. And then when I saw them battling, I'm like, yes, come on. And then my heart sunk with like 2 laps to go, because we were like 2, maybe 1 second away from that being the last lap. I'm like, no, but then I didn't get through 1 and 2 on that lap well, and I saw Ben get closer. I'm like, no, not like this. But yeah, then Brian and Ben started battling again, and I was just able to pull away. But I feel bad with Jason. Like, I kind of shoved him off the track earlier when he was alongside, and that really kind of screwed up his race. And he's not happy with me, and I completely understand. When Andrew and I were battling a little earlier in the race, like right before that happened, I felt that I got pushed up the track a little bit, and so I was trying the crossover to try to get him back, and I did not notice that Jason had a run. And by the time I noticed and tried to give him space, it was too late, and he was in the grass. So, and he wasn't really able to recover from that. And I feel bad, because Jason and I have been good friends for such a long time, and we've raced together for such a long time. So you never like to do that to someone that you're good friends with and you're good adversaries with. So I'm sorry for that, Jason.
Well, I tell you what. First, James, take a breath. But man, that was it. The racing was really good, and on the incident with Jason, at least from our view, it almost looked like there was a netcode little bit of deal going on there, because just the way the cars moved, it didn't look like it was kind of this natural motion of like, I'm trying to avoid him, I'm going to make a hard left. It kind of looked like just things were bouncing around weird. But last question for you here. Now we're down to 3 races to go in this championship, and you're holding a 20-point lead over West Shire. Bizzle asked this during the race. At some point, do you start to consider the championship and say second is good enough if it's ahead of Wes?
I mean, it was definitely on my thoughts. It was definitely in my thoughts, but the problem, and that's, and I've brought this up myself multiple times during our Thursday night shows. It's that balance, you have to keep in mind, you have to balance. And when you're going up against West Shire, of all people, who have won so many races in this series, so many championships, you don't want to do anything stupid, and you don't want to risk it, but at the same time, there's still too much time left in the season to where a counterattack is coming. So you have to build up as much of a gap, as much of an advantage as you can. And I don't know how many other opportunities, how many other times I'm going to be in a race winning position. Like, this car was so bad fast. I had to take advantage of it. I had to try and get everything I could from this car, from this race, because I don't know how the rest of the season is gonna shape out. So you got to take those opportunities when you can. Don't risk it all, but don't completely play it safe.
Yeah, well, James, congratulations on the win tonight. It was a fantastic show you guys put on for us. Thank you very much for it. And before we let you go, make sure you get all the big sponsor plugs and thank yous in here.
Yeah, I got to thank everyone at Team Watson Racing Setups. Use code Watson39 for 10% off at checkout. I got to thank Dizzy V Designs and ZAS Designs for putting together my paint schemes. You and everyone else at NRN for always sticking with me and supporting me. My folks, and Boomer Button Boxes.
Yeah, I saw the Boomer Button Box on Facebook that's going out the door to you. That's a pretty looking tool there, buddy. Enjoy that one.
It's glorious. Check him out, Scott Schroeder. You're going to be seeing him on the Silver Crown broadcast too. Scott's one of the best people that you'll ever meet. Like, I've only known him for a couple weeks, and he's already one of my favorite people. And him and Boomer do incredible work. So check them out. They're awesome peeps.
All right, buddy. Well, James, thank you very much. We appreciate you coming to hang out with us here. And now we got to get over and talk to our runner-up finisher tonight here, Mr. Brian Labarge. And well, first I got to drag him up into the booth here with us first. But Brian, congratulations on a hard-earned second-place finish here tonight. Man, the battles were just crazy intense here. And maybe talk us through a little bit those last handful of laps with Ben, because he did not make life easy on you.
No, he certainly did not. And him and I both came to the realization probably around, I don't know, maybe 7-8 minutes to go, that you were not getting anything done on the inside, anywheres around the track. So that's like, because I was probably around, I don't know, 7th or 8th, I think, right around that point. And there was just like one line that I kept hitting through turn one, and I kept getting a better and better run down that straight. And I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to hang to the outside. And it was basically a battle to, for him he wanted just to get up on that same line that I was doing it. And then I think when he got to turn one on that last lap, he went full send and could not get it rotated. And that was my shot.
Yeah, and it's one of those deals that sometimes you're just not going to get the move made. But I'll tell you what, the last couple of weeks have been a very nice turnaround in the season here for you. And quite frankly, a top 3, top 5 in points does not look like it's out of reach anymore.
Well, we'll see. There's 3 races left. I mean, hey, give it the old college try, see what happens. I mean, I feel like, back-to-back second places is certainly, obviously it's a welcome change of pace, but, we'll see if I can keep it up. I'd love to be able to, but if I can, great. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep shooting for the same thing that I've been shooting for, which is just getting good results. Somewhere upper pack, see what happens, and, kind of let the chips fall where they may.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations on the second place finish here tonight. And before we let you go, make sure you get all the sponsor plugs and shout outs taken care of.
All right. I'd like to thank NASA and JPL for having very good aerodynamic input onto the team this year. Absolutely great. Really could get that draft going there. Thank you to TNT and NRN for all of the broadcasting paraphernalia and equipment that is put on with all of this, and viewers like you.
Oh, that's beautiful. Well done with the NASA plug there, buddy, and the PBS style out on that one too. Brian, thank you much. We appreciate you coming to hang out with us. And now let's bring Ben Carswell into the booth. Kind of disappointed that none of our 3 interviewees had anything patently offensive as their intro music, but Ben, congratulations on the 3rd place finish here tonight. Talk us through those last couple of laps, because it seemed like you were holding on for dear life.
Yeah, I was. The right front was completely killed. I drove it into the ground. Through the process of, I restarted, I think, after my spin in like 11th, 12th, and I had to try and navigate around the pack that erupted there. These people weren't getting off the restart quick; they were losing the draft, and you just had to try and get it around as quick as you could. So I think I killed a little bit of it there, and then I definitely killed a lot of it just trying to. I had to make a 3-wide move on Nürnberger, so that probably took some of it, and then just side by side with James and Andrew for 30 laps, probably straight, was not going to help it. So yeah, I gave it everything I had the final lap there in 1 and 2, and it did not stick. We got the bonus lap there at the end. If James had been a little bit easier on the throttle off of 4, we might have finished a lap sooner than we did. But when you saw the white flag come out, did that give you the tiniest little bit of hope? Like, hey, let's go full send and try to win this thing? Yeah, no, that's exactly what I did. And it didn't work at all. I actually lost second because of it, because I just thought, okay, James is gonna baby this because he doesn't think I can get past him before the checkered. I can get alongside but not past, and I just have to get the absolute best run I can off of 1 and 2, get alongside, and then just flat-foot it through 3 and 4, which at that point in the race was harder than it should have been. Like on clean tires and clean air, you're flat through 3 and 4, no problem. You're flat like second lap on the run. But at that point, I mean, I was really having to breathe the throttle because there was no grip at all. And all the dirty air, and I just thought I'm just going to have to go for it. And it didn't stick, and I had to shift down to 4th and brake and do all kinds of stuff to not hit the wall, and Brian went flying by me.
Well, I tell you what, it was a wild show you guys put on for us tonight. We really appreciate it. And before we let you go, make sure you do all the sponsor plugs and shout outs you want to get in here.
Well, shout out to NRN. Obviously, I'm really looking forward to watching this one back. I think it's going to be fun. Um, Team Watson Racing setups. Obviously, the boss man got the win tonight. He was amazing. I don't know how he did it because I was trying everything I could to. I'm pretty sure I gave him a bump at one point to push him out of the way. So shout out to TWR because they have great setups, and I used their setup for the race tonight. And yeah, and shout out to TNT for being a great place with great leagues.
Yes, I will go in on both of those with you, Ben. Congratulations. Thank you very much for coming to hang out in the booth with us here. And man alive, Bizzle, we got a show here tonight as the sun sets over Phoenix Raceway.
Hell yeah, that was a fantastic finish for that race. I don't think we could have planned that one to be any better.
Yeah, I don't think so. Great racing tonight. Great news, by the way. Motorsport Games has had their contract terminated by IndyCar, so we may get the IndyCar series back here on the iRacing platform. Maybe just in time for the month of May and some festivities there. But man, I'll tell you what, these guys are always putting on a good show. But in 3 weeks, when they come back, we take the next 2 Tuesdays off. We come back to Kern County Raceway Park for what might be the wildest short track these guys will run.
Yeah, Kern is going to be very, very tough for these guys.
Tough might be an understatement, but with that, it's time for us to get the heck on out of here. We got Fast Masters driving to do and all sorts of fun stuff. Whole lot coming up the rest of this week here on the National Racing Network. Tomorrow night, Sim Racers Club, Las Vegas Motor Speedway, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we close out the broadcast week with the Indy Pro 2000 Championship heading off to the streets of Detroit. Great show, everybody. Thank you all so much for coming to hang out with us. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow night for the Sim Racers Club. And with that, we're out of here. For Bizzle and everybody else here at the National Racing Network that makes these shows happen, my name is Chris Graham. We appreciate you coming to hang out with us, and we will talk to you all soon. Have a great night, everybody.